Okay, so we are here. We have the new Pioneer 6.5 from the Float Life. We're zeroed out on the scale. This is the performance treaded tire by Future Motion. It's a slightly larger tire than this. So let's go ahead and put it on here. 3 pounds, 10.1 ounces. And here is the Float Life's new Pioneer tire in soft. Okay, so we are at 3 pounds, 14.8 ounces. So it is 4.7 ounces heavier than the factory tire. Even though this is a fairly heavy tire, this is extremely heavy. And at 4.7 ounces heavier, it is a slightly heavy piggish style tire, which I probably will not be putting 10 to 15 ounces of armadillos in. I mean, these thinner tires, the Goat is a thinner, much lighter tire, but the caveat to that is that more than likely you're going to get punctures easier, and it's probably going to leak a little bit of air. Little Armadillos takes care of the problem. The other thing, though, is that this tire, it's purpose built. It's not built for going out on the street and raising hell and doing tricks. It's an off-road tire. So I am taking off my beloved Flight Fins Goat tire because I want to go ahead and find out what this behemoth is all about. This is the Float Life's new Pioneer tire, and the Pioneer tire is their severe off-road use style tire, and it looks just like it sounds. This is the soft version, and I will say that at 11.5 by 6.9 by 6.5, this is the second largest tire that we've seen manufactured for your stock boards, just tiny bit under an 11.5 by 7. Now, here's what I'm expecting. This tire right here is fantastic. It's a big wide tire. It's a big, good contact patch style having tire that's gonna have a lot of grip. What I've noticed is this is the heaviest tire that I have ever weighed or tested in the lineup period ever. So what I'm expecting to find from this is that diminished range, substantial diminished range, unless you are staying moving. This tire's weight with a lot of starting and stopping is going to kill the batteries. It's also super heavy, so I'm gonna try it on the GTS and not on a GT. I bet a GT would still turn it, no problem, but I wanna have that extra power, plus I'm used to riding this board. But I will tell you this Goat tire here with 15 ounces of armadillos is still lighter than this tire is without it. So there needs to be some serious advantages to this for me to swap to this from this. I love these. If you don't have the titanium bolts, then what are you really doing? What are you doing? All right, I love the GTs and the GTSs because it is so minimal what you need to take off to get this tire and rim out. So all you have to do is remove the bumper and your caps, remove the bolts, and everything comes out. So that's it. Hey man, don't record me taking this tire off. Okay, so I got a bottle of Corey's Armadillos here. Let's find out how much one bottle of Corey's Armadillos weighs. Let's tear that out. All right. Okay, so there we're looking at roughly very close to about 12.5 ounces of weight for a bottle of Armadillos. When it comes to off-roading, lighter is not always better all the time. So when it comes to wanting to get through heavy-duty stuff, what you need is rolling momentum, especially when it comes to one wheels that don't have a lot of power. This, once you get this up to speed, is going to be a hell of a lot harder to slow down than a tire that weighs almost a pound less. So this will spool up faster, and it obviously will consume a little bit less energy in the starting and stopping. But this one This one right here, its rolling inertia is going to carry it through quite a bit more. So I am going to be very interested to find out the differences between it. Also, as you see out here, I have tilled up and harrowed up a whole bunch of stuff, and this tire's gripping exceptionally well. But this tire looks like it's gonna grip something fierce. So let's go throw it on and let's go take it out for a rip. Fuck, I should have heated this son of a bitch up.
In there.
This is huge.
That thing's got some net grip. Here, let me get that spoon.
You don't need it.
You don't need it? You got it? Oh, muscle it on.
Okay. All right, so now what we have is a Wankel engine from a rotary Mazda RX-7.
There it is.
Voila. Let's see here. Okay, where do you think this PSI is at with the shape of the tire that it's at?
I'd say 25.
10 pounds.
No way.
10 pounds.
That's only 10 pounds in
That's
there?
10 pounds of air. 10 pounds of air. Look. 10 pounds of air.
Are you sure that ain't 100?
I am 100% sure. Well, that doesn't make me feel very comforted.
Your big old jet.
Okay, initial reaction is that I need to eat a gummy. Maybe two. All right. So here's the thing. Initial reaction to the tire is that I immediately went and put 2.5, 3 pounds more air pressure in it because it felt like it was kind of squared off to the point where when I'd roll over it, I would get up onto the sidewall and it would kind of rock on it. 2, it feels like a truck tire. It feels very reminiscent to the old Vega Treaded, the big blocked Vega Treaded, big square tire. But the grip just riding around in this, look at the edge. Look at how far onto the edge I feel like I'm getting. And obviously I can feel that the tire is larger. It is a larger diameter, wider tire. So let's go give it a rip, see where we're at. I may go down on the pressure, but right now we're at 12.5 to 13. Let's go give it a rip. Okay. Ooh, shit. Ooh, it just
Floating. The new tire is claimed to
it is certainly sapping the power. I can feel that. The extra weight and blockiness of the tire in sand doesn't seem to work as well as, let's say, the goat tire seems to handle this a lot better. It's got that lighter, more nimble, quick feel. I'm gonna change modes, lift the nose, see if I can tune the board a little bit better to this tire, and then we'll go from there.
All right.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go run some of these little trails, and I am going to feel how it feels to me. I dropped down the tire pressure probably around 10.5, maybe, I guess. So we're gonna go rip a little bit and see how it feels. This might be a little sussy.
bouncing like a bowling ball. Hidden bump.
Okay. It is very noticeable, the extra weight. It carries itself, once you get it up to speed, it carries itself very nicely, with a lot of control. The thing that I am feeling is that because it is a bigger tire, a wider tire, there is a lot of meat on that sidewall for you to really carve against. It's a lot harder to get it to roll over. I ended up loosening the settings a little bit in the app to try and allow it to fall over a little bit. What that did was cause the nose to drop a little bit more. So if you're gonna run this tire, you're gonna have a completely different tune than you do with your other tires. Unless you're coming from the factory tire, from the Future Motion Performance tire to this. In the situation that I'm in, having that little extra power, that little bit more nimble, of the goat tire really does help. But for this tire, the grip is phenomenal. Hitting roots, it's like nothing. It just sponges over it. Let's just give it a little bit of rip, and then I'm gonna let Brandon get on, see what Brandon thinks. We're getting a lot of nose dives out this. We did lift the nose, but then it makes it uncomfortable once you're up to speed. So we're gonna do a little bit more on the hard pack, see what he thinks. Fucking hit that shit.
GTS has definitely got some power.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I am pretty interested to find out what this tire does on a GT. Brandon, you want that tire for your GT, this GT?
Do you want to put it on here?
I want an accurate test because we have it on the GTS. We feel how it is. That was a full-on slide. We have tried it on the GTS, but we have not tried it on a GT. So I think it's only fair that we get rid of your shitbox factory tire, your factory treaded, which is a garbage tire, and put on a fantastic tire. So off Brandon's came the factory treaded, which, as garbage as it is still a pretty shitty tire. All right, we ended up going 9 pounds for Brandon on the GT, and it looks meaty. Let's let the big dogs eat. Let's let it eat all over this big behemoth plate full of mac and cheese with some beans. But this stuff is perfect, perfect stuff for testing out this deeply treaded tire, the new Pioneer from the Float Life.
I think it might be a little harder to lean over.
Yeah, you think you might be able to change that in the tune?
I'm in a really Harvey mode,
But we are putting it through its paces. Oh shit. Ooh. Okay, so interestingly enough, we swapped the tires from my GTS to Brandon's GT, and what did we find out?
I found that tire doesn't quite carve as easy as the stock tire or the Flight Fins tire, but it definitely absorbs the roots a lot better. We're only running like 9 pounds in it. It feels like it's got a lot of air in it still, and it's eating the roots really good. I noticed on this uphill over here where it's really soft, it's grabbing the dirt, and instead of spinning out with that slippery tire, it's really digging into that sand. And I'm not nosing over really. I'm really like staying on top of it. And whenever it does get bogged down, it does nose over. And I'm not spinning at all though. I'm not really spinning.
It's like driving the nose in.
Yeah, I've brought a lot of traction with this.
Yeah, it's a lot of traction. The other thing that we just found out was that we actually like the Pioneer tire better on the GT than we do on the GTS. One, because the GTS really does have the beans to pull it, but where you would assume the GT doesn't have the power because of the weight of the tire. It actually smooths out the GT and keeps it going because of that extra weight, keeping the momentum going at through almost any cost, as to where this actually has the power to turn it so it's doing so.
Yeah, once it gets up to speed, it's really staying up there.
Yeah.
It's not having to use all that power to keep it going. It's like I need to get used to this tire is what it is. It's a new tire,
yeah.
you gotta really wear your shoes for a week or so to break them in. So.
That's a good analogy. So we're gonna do this video, and then we're gonna come back to Brandon in a week and find out how he feels about that tire. Thank you, Float Life, always for the Pioneer tire and everything. And we are going to do some heavy duty testing, and we'll get back to you with our findings. Love you guys. Be good.
Another thing is, I think this really flat tire makes it a lot easier to choose where you want it to go and keep it there. Because that whole lap right there, I just it feels like you're almost on a dirt bike. You just kind of pick a rut and just let it eat. Because I didn't have not one problem right there with that soft stuff, and I just had a line from earlier, and I just was looking, it just followed it around. It's like a foot deep over there. It feels more like the One Wheel XR. And I miss that feeling so much.
It really does. Wow. That nailed it. Good call. Had to come back in with that one.